Hello and welcome to Open, the show opening the Bronx and the rest of the world to you. I'm Kibin Alleyne covering for Darren Jaime, and today we'll update you what's happening in and around our borough and New York City. Coming up, we'll discuss how one partnership is helping students land internships and jobs, and how their new initiative is giving students the tools to succeed in their career. After that, we'll sit with a travel expert with insights into the best Black Friday deals, holiday travel trends, and tips for planning those perfect getaways without breaking the bank. Lastly, we'll learn about a unique initiative highlighting the importance of wigs in maintaining self-confidence, particularly for women undergoing treatment. So stay tuned, all this and much more is heading your way because we're now officially open. Hello everyone, I'm Kibin Alleyne and you are now watching Open, a live program bringing the Bronx and New York City straight to you. We also want to welcome our viewers to the Manhattan Neighborhood Network, as Open is being broadcast simultaneously on MNN's channels. You can stay connected to us on all social media platforms at BronxNet TV. Some things have been going on throughout the past week. We'll take you through it with some Bronx updates. We start with community news. A celebration of life is held at the 45th Precinct for the remembrance of Alessandro Jr. Guzman Feliz. After 6 years of his tragic murder, Guzman still has an impact on the community. Our BronxNet reporter Kyrie Moody has a story.
Family, friends, and community members gathered here today in front of the 45th Precinct in remembrance of Alessandro Jr. Guzman Feliz. The case that shook the Bronx about 6 years ago is now being remembered. They have let go balloons in his remembrance, and they hope that this act of violence will never happen again in this community. On June 20th, 2018, at 11:30 p.m., Alessandro Jr. Guzman Feliz was tragically murdered by 5 gang members in the Belmont section of the Bronx. The murder was a case of mistaken identity. At the time of death, Jr. was only 15 years old. Although there were a total of 14 suspects between the ages of 18 to 29, 5 of the gang members were sentenced and found guilty. Junior was enrolled in the New York Police Department Explorers program.
We work with these kids, and they all become part of our family. And we realize that we have to mentor them, and they really just become family to us. And not only through the program, but they're really close to us. We see them every day. And it's just hard to witness what we saw 6 years ago.
Over the last 6 years, Junior's mother has received more than just love and support from the community. Today, she is grateful for the celebration of life given by the NYPD.
This is so beautiful and supportive for me because every day is passing, year by year. I feel like losing. My son is not coming back. I don't see my son, but I still need support from the people and everybody.
Leandra Feliz goes on to talk about the NYPD Explorers program and how it's necessary and helpful for the next generation.
I'm so happy for the generations because the time we live in now with the crime is going worse, and I don't want to see the parent losing our children.
November 11th is Junior's birthday. He would have been 22 years old. Reporting for BronxNet, Kyrie Moody.
Thank you, Kyrie. That's all for the Bronx updates. We have to take a quick break, but we'll have more open when we return. Welcome back. The Bronx Community College's Office of Career Development is helping students overcome one of the biggest barriers to job success, their professional attire. In collaboration with a nonprofit partner, they are set to open a new on-campus resource giving students the clothing they need to shine in interviews and recruitment events. Joining us now are the founder and executive director of Agentcy, Jourdan Lemieque-Degnan, and CUNY Bronx Community College's Dean of Workforce Development and Continuing Education, Jessica Seliger. Thank you both so much for joining me.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Now, can you just kind of give us an overall view of the organization in general?
The organization is a nonprofit that serves youth between the ages of 16 and 25. Our youth come from underserved communities. A lot of them are first-generation college students, or they choose to take up a skilled service trade, and we help them with the clothing and different items that they need for those services, as well as providing them with suits for interviews or anything that they might need.
Okay, and then can you tell us a little bit more about BCC's Office of Career Development? I know that if you've been in college, you may be familiar with these kind of terms, but can you tell us a little bit more about the overall mission?
Sure. So our Office of Career Development provides thousands of students a year who are getting degrees in a variety of fields, who are coming for short-term training programs with everything they need to land a job and an internship in their area of study. So that's everything from resume review, career exploration, practice interviews, cover letters. And what we were finding was that a lot of the students were turning down opportunities to go to on-campus recruiting events or go to interviews because they didn't have professional attire. And so this partnership with Agentcy really provides the last stop for students in their career preparation journey and the ticket essentially that they need to land their dream jobs.
And I also want to say that this is super important because I remember kind of being in that transition from teenager to adult, and all you have are graphic tees, and then you're wondering like, oh no, how can I prepare for that? You know, that interview, the first day of work. Can you just explain also, you know, why that's so important, you know, especially now that people who are well into their career are struggling to find new work, why something as simple as this could, you know, make or break someone's experience joining the workforce?
Well, I find it extremely important to your appearance and how you present, and you don't get a do-over for the first interview. And we strive students on and clients on how important it is to look your best, and it exudes confidence as well. Because we see the difference between a person walking in with their clothing and putting on a suit, and afterwards that visceral change in their confidence level, and they stand up straight, and it's just a very, very impactful experience for the students or clients.
And did you want to add to that?
No, absolutely. But we really, just to reinforce, we've seen how excited and confident really our students are when they have brand new attire that they know is coming, you know, from stores that have clothing that's in style right now, and they're going to walk in and they're going to look like all the other candidates.
Now I'm curious to know, how did this collaboration begin, and how did, you know, both of you know that each organization was the right fit to kind of help these students?
So it started probably around 2016, and we started talking to BCC and working with them on a very low level with a couple of their other departments. We expressed our interest in having a campus boutique, but at that time that was not possible. So we kept pining away at the importance of this, and I think eventually BCC understood the importance and the need for this service on their campus, and so it all worked out for us. It was fantastic.
And then how did BCC know, like, okay, this is definitely the organization that we trust our students, you know, with?
Sure. I mean, Agentcy and Jourdan and his team really understand the students we're serving, the majority of whom are the first generation in their families to go to college, the first generation in their families to enter careers in business and tech and healthcare. And so, you know, we needed a partner who was bought into the mission of Bronx Community College and the mission of CUNY, and we have a huge sprawling campus, which most people don't picture for a community college, and so the idea of having really a physical boutique that students could walk into and see the clothing, that we could showcase the clothing to, we can partner with faculty for their students, it just was a perfect match.
Yeah.
Now, can you share some examples of how free professional clothing has helped students land internships or jobs?
Sure. So we have students like a student who's here today, Janelle, who had an interview at Morgan Stanley. She was going for an on-campus networking event. She came to our career specialist who helped prep her with some talking points, and immediately we were able to provide her clothing for the next morning. She could go in and walk in confidently and begin the networking process, and we know that the majority of people get jobs through networking and through building relationships.
Yes.
And so it's not just about the interview, but it's about that first impression, as Jourdan said, and whether that's on campus or in the office, making that happen. We're also excited, this past summer, Publicis, which is the largest global media company, dropped their bachelor's requirement for the first time and hired 2 or 3 Bronx Community College students into internships and full-time jobs. And so again, being able to suit our students, which really just elevates all of the skills and all of the hard work they've done. I don't want to say it made the difference. They did the hard work, but I think it helped kind of cap off the deal.
And then with that, why is it so important that these type of donations are available, especially for women?
Because there are many organizations out there that serve primarily one or the other. We started off just primarily serving men, and we realized that, like working with Bronx Community College, most of their over 50% of their population was women, and so the need to start serving women was very, very important to us, and being inclusive in that way. We found the challenges of serving women versus just serving men was a lot more involved, and working with our partners to get those donations so that the women have just as a good experience as the men coming in.
And if I may, we talk about men's clothes and women's clothes, but really at our school we have students who identify across the gender spectrum, and we're really mindful of that in our boutique. And so as we set up mannequins, we're really showcasing a whole range of gender identity conforming clothing.
That's amazing. Now, I want to talk about something that is, I won't say equally important, but it is pretty important, and that is LinkedIn. Can you, explain how you kind of express the importance of LinkedIn to a lot of young people who may just be encountering, the website for the first time?
Yep, I'm so glad you asked, because in our Office of Career Development, November is LinkedIn month. We're doing a whole campaign around helping our students understand the importance of it. We have a professional level photo booth so students can get their clothing in the boutique and then get a professional grade photo that they can put on their LinkedIn. And again, it really comes back to networking, right? It's about how people are finding you and how you're finding people who may be CUNY alumni, who may be from your neighborhood, working in the fields you want to work in.
And then can you highlight, also the work that you do with helping with resumes, cover letters, all of those type of things?
Sure. So we have students walking in, making appointments. We have a small but mighty team of career specialists who work with individual academic departments to really understand how to translate the skills you get in the classroom to the skills you need to get a job. And so we're doing everything from sitting with students in person or virtually to do resume clinics. We have support from Google for Grow with Google clinics. So providing students not just with resume and cover letter review, but also self-paced modules they can do to enhance their skills. And the resume is really the first step, but it's what someone, it's the paper you present to the employer that summarizes your skill sets. And so we're doing a lot of work with students to equip them with the skills to write their own resumes. And all of our services are both virtual and in person. And I think, just to go back to your question about the importance of a boutique on campus, post-COVID, we're seeing a huge return of students to campus, and people are really craving that in-person, interpersonal interaction. And so our services are, I don't want to say primarily in person, but equally, in person with the human touch.
Now, what do you hope to see for the future of this collaboration and how it prepares, young people to be, just ready for their futures?
I see this as an opportunity to expand it in ways where we are providing more than just suits or business attire, and providing clothing for any skilled service trade that they need. So if they need tool belts, or they need, dickies or work boots or any of those things. So we see expanding in that way.
Wow, that's amazing. Now, can you quickly just let everybody know where they can go to learn more information?
Sure. So on the Bronx Community College side, you can Google BCC CUNY Career Development and find out more, make an appointment with a career specialist who will get your resume done and then get you into the boutique.
And you can reach out to Agentcy at Agency, and that's AGENTCY.org.
All right, well, with that, I want to thank you both so much for joining us. This was a wonderful conversation, and as I mentioned, this is something that I could even relate to. So I'm so glad that you were here to kind of, let people know what they can do to kind of have that really good first interview or first meeting with someone. So thank you so much.
Thank you.
Again, for more information, you can visit the websites at bcc.cuny.edu and agencycollective.org. Don't go anywhere. We'll be back with more Open right after this.
What's up, creative family? Discover your voice with BronxNet community media classes. Are you ready to bring your ideas to life? At BronxNet, we offer television production classes for community members ages 18 and over, empowering you to share your vision with the world. Get certified in field production, in-studio production, and our new exciting addition, podcast production. Once certified, you can create your own show to air on one of our 6 TV channels. It all starts with our free Unleash Your Ideas Masterclass, designed to help you plan your show idea and set you up for success on your production journey. This class is offered at the beginning of each month for your convenience. Our dedicated BronxNet team is here to support, encourage, and uplift you every step of the way. Join us and become a part of the creative force that engages and inspires the Bronx community and beyond. Sign up today and start your media journey with BronxNet. Visit bronxnet.org/education to learn more and register. Let's create something amazing together.
Welcome back. As Black Friday approaches, travel companies are rolling out enticing deals for every kind of adventurer. From mountain cabins to beachside bungalows, travelers have a range of options to choose from, whether they plan to fly, drive, or even cruise. Joining us now is travel expert Julie Loffredi. Julie, thank you so much for joining me.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Now, I want to say Black Friday is truly just around the corner. What are some top travel deals that travelers should look out for this year?
Well, the good news here is we can expect plenty of travel bargains. Booking.com just announced up to 50% off on places to stay, rental car discounts up to 25% off, and cruisers can snag deals up to $2,000 in onboard credits and loyalty perks. Attractions heavily discounted too. We're talking big savings that make you want to grab your passport and go.
Now, that is super exciting. I know when we think about Black Friday, people usually think about things that they can grab or touch, but traveling is truly an experience. So I'm so excited to get into this. Now, I want to talk about multi-generational travel and how it's become very popular recently. What are some unique benefits that offers for families?
I mean, who doesn't love the idea of getting the whole family together, cousins, aunts and uncles, and more? Multi-generational travel is really trending, and whether it's a quick weekend trip or big multi-generational mega trip, Plus, it turns out that boomers are especially willing to foot the bill. Around 80% are happy to treat their kids, and about 78% do the same for grandkids.
Now, I'm curious to know on the flip side, we love big vacations, but we're also finding that people are taking much shorter trips. Why do you think this is trending, and how can they make the most of their time if they're only going away for maybe a few days or a weekend?
Well, my recommendation is whether you're doing a weekend getaway or something much longer, always have a game plan. So pick a destination, preferred travel dates, set a budget so you're not scrambling when deals drop. Flexibility is also a big plus too. So if you're open to shifting your dates or a different destination, you can sometimes find even better discounts. Bundling, also a smart move, adding a rental car or activity to your booking can really stretch those savings. And sometimes folks just come across those great weekend deals.
Now, as we talk about Black Friday, people usually use this time to buy, holiday gifts for their loved ones. What do you think about possibly gifting travel, and why may that be maybe even more meaningful than, the traditional holiday gift?
Well, I'm a big fan about gifting travel or the opportunity to go on, say, a family vacation. These are really memory making experiences that last a lifetime.
Now, how can travelers ensure they're getting the best possible deal on Black Friday, especially when they're planning trips with larger family groups?
Well, you certainly want to plan ahead, do some research if you can. Booking.com, a great place to start if you want all your options in one place. And keep an eye on their site. They'll be rolling out a bunch of deals throughout Black Friday, starting November 21st. And remember, a lot of these discounts are for a limited time. So once you see something you love, you really got to go for it.
And I really love that you said that because I know that a lot of people online have these tricks that they have or these hacks when it comes to like finding deals online. Can you give us some tips on, that, and basically where's also the best place to find Black Friday travel deals?
Yeah, and the important thing too is really timing. So I mentioned booking.com rolling out November 21st. So you can kind of get a jump start on tracking these deals, putting together a list of maybe your top destinations. Take a look at your calendar, your kids' maybe school calendar, identify some weeks that really everyone could participate in a vacation. And then you can kind of identify your budget needs from there. So I think the exciting thing here is there's so many great travel deals out there, and it's a great time to start shopping.
Now, are there any specific destinations or types of accommodations that are in high demand this Black Friday?
Well, certainly we're seeing across the board a variety of different deals. When it comes to accommodations, not only hotels and maybe resorts, but also more unusual places to stay. Maybe it's a vacation rental or a beach bungalow, or maybe a cabin up in the woods. There's so many great different experiences out there when it comes to traveling that the options are really limitless.
Now, when travelers are planning around work or school, what are some things they should keep in mind to help maximize their vacation time effectively?
Yeah, well, certainly, I have two kids, so I'm always looking at their school calendars and identifying, maybe the weeks that we could all get away. So really planning in advance is key. So also when it comes to the Black Friday deals, I can look at that calendar and identify some key travel dates and also maybe have some flexibility baked in case I see a great deal and just want to go for it.
Now, with companies like Booking.com offering flexibility, what should travelers know about booking policies to ensure they have options if plans change?
Of course. Well, when it comes to travel, there's a lot of uncertainty out there. You can always consider travel insurance, which could cover things like trip cancellation or trip interruption, also baggage delays. And also, if you're traveling outside of the country, chances are your domestic health insurance is not going to cover you abroad. That's where travel insurance could kick in.
Now, where can our viewers go to learn more about this year's Black Friday travel deals and book their own trips?
You can head to booking.com.
Now, I also want to add that I do like for somebody who watches maybe some movies, people tend to go with travel agents or they try to, find people that can help them. Can you explain how maybe going to booking.com is maybe a little bit easier and can avoid maybe a middleman when it comes to traveling?
Well, I love to do my own research when it comes to travel. I think it's fun to kind of shop around, compare all the different options. And if you really need some extra support, bring in maybe some friends and family to help you along in the process.
All right. Well, I want to thank you so much for joining us. This was a really fun segment, just learning about travel. And again, I learned something new because I never really thought about, travel deals when it comes to Black Friday. So once again, thank you so much for joining us and kind of sharing something with our community.
You got it. Thank you.
For more information, you can visit the website at booking.com. Don't go anywhere. We'll be back with more Open right after this.
We're gonna start the show right now. This is my favorite part. Ready in 5, 4, 3, 2. Hey, this is Angel and I am one of the instructors for the in-studio production. Here at BronxNet, we offer classes that can help you elevate, expand, and start your television career. All you have to do is sign up at bronxnet.org/education. For the past 7 years, I have been in various productions, spanning from talk shows, independent films, news reports, art displays, teachings, musical performances, and many more. Ain't that right, Angel? Yeah, you're absolutely right, Angel. There are a lot of creative individuals that we're just waiting to sign up for the class. And if I may, can I also express thank you, Angel. That's all the time we have left. Visit bronxnet.org/education and become a producer by taking the course. The class I offer is also in English, en español y también bilingüe. Nos vemos en la próxima clase.
Family Life Academy Charter Schools is a network of K-12 public charter schools serving over 1,800 students. They empower their students to excel academically, take ownership of their learning, and uphold human values from kindergarten through college and beyond. Joining us now is the principal of Family Life Academy Charter School, Rachel Cotto Nunez. Rachel, thank you so much for joining me.
Thank you for having me.
Now, can you share with our viewers the mission of Family Life Academy Charter Schools and how it guides the work that you do?
Well, Family Life Academy Charter Schools, in partnership with the Latino Pastoral Action Center, they are our community partner. We believe in what you've already said, empowering children regardless of where they come from, what language they speak, what their cultural background is, or their socioeconomic position. We believe in them having ownership of their own learning and affirming human values like kindness, respect, empathy, and love.
Now, as you mentioned, it was founded in 2001 by the Latino Pastoral Action Center.
Yes.
Could you tell us more about the founding and the vision behind the establishment?
Yeah, so the Latino Pastoral Action Center is the child of Bishop Reverend Raymond Rivera, who worked in that community and continues to work in that community as an activist. And there was a cry in the community for better schools, particularly for children of immigrant families and children who spoke a language other than English. And because of that outcry and the bishop's vision, the charter was written for Family Life Academy Charter Schools.
Now, I'm also going to call it FLAX just for short, but what sets FLAX apart from other schools? And could you highlight some of the unique programs, offerings, and educational philosophies that distinguishes FLAX?
Sure. So I think the biggest thing that sets us apart is that we're community grown and community led. A lot of our staff are from the communities that we serve, and the leaders are from the communities that we serve or were. I, for one, was born and raised in Mott Haven, so I am a Bronx native, and it was very important for me in particular to have the children have people in front of them who look like them, sound like them, speak the same language, eat the same foods, so that they had someone to connect to. When I first became a teacher, my mother told me, if you're going to become a teacher, go where the children can see themselves in you. And FLAX has that. We have diverse staff, diverse children, but our families connect to us because we are community grown and community led.
Now, can you tell us a little bit more about the students? Because I feel that the students make a school. So, can you tell us a little bit more about the students enrolled? And, what grade levels does the school serve?
Yeah, so our schools run K through 12. We have 3 elementary campuses, 1 middle school, 1 high school. My school in particular, Flex 3, which is located in Mott Haven, serves a large population of West African children, as well as African American children, and our smallest population are Hispanic children.
Now, I think it's so amazing that there's so much diversity, and you mentioned a little bit like go where the kids can see themselves. Can you talk about, we talk about the importance of representation in movies, in books, but also in real life and in our schools. Can you talk a little bit about the importance of that and, what that means to you?
Yes, so it's important, having been born in Mott Haven and raised here. I took a class in Hunter College many years ago where a professor actually said nothing good ever came out of Mott Haven. And that really impacted me because I was born and raised here. We have Al Pacino, who came out of here, Kerry Washington, Justice Sonia Sotomayor, Director Gary Marshall, so many wonderful people and artists, musicians, authors who've come out of here, out of Mott Haven, and continue to come out of here. So we want to empower our children to be like them and be like us. If they see that we are school leaders or we are teachers, they can aspire to be that and a lot more. Our expectations are very high because it doesn't matter that we're located in the poorest congressional district. That doesn't matter. It's not despite that, it's regardless of that. Our children can succeed no matter where they're from.
Now, beyond academic achievements, in what ways do you observe FLAC students succeeding both inside and outside of the classroom?
So I think it's part of our social emotional learning that we instill in our children, having that empathy, that love, that respect for others, doesn't matter where you're from. And our name says it all. We're Family Life Academy, right? So we are a family. Your children are our children. Your kids are safe with us because we're going to ensure their success. But the other thing that I think really sets us apart is that our children are being prepared in the elementary school, for the middle school, for the high school, and for college. What better way than to guarantee your child's success in their educational career than to keep them with us in kindergarten all the way through 5th grade and then have guaranteed seats for 6th through 8 and 9th through 12.
And I want to expand on that. We've heard that FLAX will be opening a new high school in the fall. Can you share some insights into the process of establishing this new campus and what it will offer to students?
So it goes in line with when we founded in 2001, where there was a community outcry for better schools. And our families are always saying, well, we have them with you for elementary, but what about middle school? What about high school? We've even had parents ask about college. So they want us to expand because they want to keep their children with us.
And I think it's also really important for high school because I think for a lot of New Yorkers, especially in the Bronx, when you go to high school, it's like every time you mention any high school, it's always met with, ooh, that's a bad school. You know, like people have these ideas of Bronx high schools. So I think it's so amazing that we're kind of putting out new high schools so that kids aren't met with this like this reaction like, oh, you're going to that school. You know, it kind of gives something a little bit positive. So I think that's amazing.
Absolutely.
Now, is there any specific thing that you would like to add about FLAX or the broader FLAX network that we haven't covered yet?
Well, our network is small. We have 5 campuses. I can speak about FLAX 3 in particular. We are the smallest of the 5 campuses. We're a small school, a small network, but we have a big heart. Like I mentioned before, your children are our children. We call them scholars, students, but when they come in through our doors, we say, hi, sweetie, hi, honey. They are our children, and we really believe in that. We want to love on them and inspire them to become something great in the future.
And then speaking of the future, what do you hope to see? FLAX is expanding, and from 2001, although that was a long time ago, it's not that far. You know, it's a pretty new school system. You know, what do you hope to see for the future of FLAX?
Well, we've stayed in the Bronx, but I would love for us to expand elsewhere so that we can continue the work that we're doing in other boroughs and maybe even upstate. Who knows?
That's amazing. And can you tell us a little bit more about how, you know, just FLAX continues to develop or how it contributes to the development of the Bronx?
So our founder is a community activist, and that's instilled in all of our schools. In our curriculum in particular, I'll pick social studies, for instance. Our children work on solving real-world problems. So they learn about social studies and the history, but how they can help their community while they're learning about history.
That's amazing. And I just love to hear I've noticed that there are more schools popping up around the Bronx. And I think it's so amazing because, as I mentioned previously, a lot of Bronx schools get a bad reputation, especially when we get to the higher education, which is why I think it's so interesting and so unique that it's going from K through 12. Can you tell us a little bit, your idea or your thoughts on the fact that it goes from K through 12?
It's the best way to ensure academic success. It's the best way to ensure that your children are getting an equal opportunity than other districts, same opportunities as other states, other boroughs. Keep them with us. We're going to love on them from K through 12. And not only that, we have alumni that come back. In my particular school, we have a teaching assistant who was a graduate of the flagship school of Family Life Academy 1, and we're in 3, and she came back because she wanted to give back to the people that helped her become who she is.
That's amazing. I love to hear that. I want to thank you so much for joining us and sharing a little bit of your community with us here at BronxNet.
Thank you so much for having us.
For more information, you can visit their website at flaxnyc.com and follow them on social media at flaxnyc. Don't go anywhere. We'll be back with more Open right after this. Welcome back. Reports have shown the clean power industry is bringing jobs, economic investment, and clean energy to states across the country. Joining us to discuss how clean energy projects benefit local communities and the careers of people living in these communities is the CEO of American Clean Power Association, Jason Grimet. Jason, thank you so much for joining me.
Kibin, great to be here.
Now, can you explain what clean power is and why it's important for our energy future?
Absolutely. So, look, the United States is an energy superpower, right? We are producing more energy as a country than any other nation in the world. And the fastest growing part of this new industry is clean power. We're talking about wind power, solar power, the big battery facilities that are used to make sure the power goes where we need to, when we need it. We're also building hundreds of manufacturing facilities that are bringing economic growth and jobs across the country. And also, one of the great things about clean power plants, no smokestacks, right? So we can talk a little bit about all the environmental benefits that are coming from this incredible growth.
Now, we will get into the environmental benefits, but I want to focus on the economic benefits. Can you elaborate on, some of these the benefits of using clean power both nationally and on a local level?
So let me just give you a little sense of, the present state of the industry, right? Right now, the industry employs about 500,000 people, and we are expecting that to double, right? 3/4 of all of the new power coming onto the electric grid last year was clean power. There have been $500 billion, with a B, billion dollars of announced investment in the new clean power sector over just the last 2 years, bringing billions of dollars of revenue to local communities, billions of dollars of local, payments to local landowners. Just in terms of the scope of the industry, it's basically enough power to power about half of the homes in the country. In New York State, which is a real leader in the sector, about 2 million homes are powered by clean energy. There's tens of millions of dollars of local taxes, a lot of it going into local and rural communities. Tens of millions of dollars of payments going to local landowners, oftentimes, folks with small farms. I grew up in Rochester, New York, a lot of dairy farms where I'm from. And then, new manufacturing, just one example. General Electric has just opened a brand new facility in Schenectady, which is building the wind turbines. And they are basically going to have 200 new employees in good full-time jobs, over $50 million of new investment in that facility. So we're seeing, jobs in terms of the manufacturing of the, components, jobs building the facilities, the construction jobs, and then jobs operating the facilities. And those are all big benefits to New York State.
Now, we've been hearing more about renewable farming lately. Can you share any success stories from local farms and farm owners who have embraced clean power practices?
Yeah, so look, it's a really important part of the story. I think, it's really tough to run a small family farm, right? If you look at, farming in America, a lot of farms are being bought up by the big multinational companies, and a lot of folks are just not able to sustain the economics of a small farm, and they're becoming, condos and strip malls. Clean power fits with farming. You can run a farm while you have, wind turbines or solar panels on the land. And farmers think about it as just another crop, right? It's a regular source of reliable income that often is the difference between balancing the books. And so, again, much of the actual clean energy production is happening in rural parts of the country. And the companies that we work with are really working hard to make sure that it's integrated into not just the economy, but also the culture of those communities.
How has the widespread adoption of clean power, such as renewables like wind and solar, transformed our energy landscape in recent years?
So again, the growth is spectacular, right? We are the fastest growing part of the energy sector. But it's not just any old energy, right? There's some really important attributes, right? The fuel is free. So once you build the facility, you have, predictable priced power. We're not dealing with, gasoline prices that are based on the whims of, foreign dictators. The projects are also clean. And, this is incredibly important for local communities that are often located where there's, big power production, whether it's natural gas or coal. And, obviously a very significant benefit is there are no, emissions contributing to the climate change problem that the world is facing. And then, lastly, just really want to emphasize, it's homegrown energy, right? The national security benefits of having control over our own energy production are tremendous. And so clean power is part of a complicated system, right? We're not the only source of power out there, but we're growing every year and, really integrating with the other energy sources that are powering the country.
Now, I want to expand a little bit on something you mentioned, and that was climate change. We talked about the economic benefits, but I really want to focus on the environmental benefits, especially as more people begin to learn about climate change. They want to make efforts to be a little bit more environmentally conscious. So can you talk a little bit more about that?
Yeah, look, so, the key to solving climate change is inventing and deploying technologies that provide all the benefits of any other source of power, but just do it cleanly. And so what, wind and solar and battery storage are able to do is basically power our economy with no pollution. Now, again, this is technologies that are growing and becoming, bigger and cheaper and larger. And so it's going to take, a couple of decades for us to really displace polluting power. But, if we can develop those technologies here and build those technologies and export those technologies, we're both helping the American economy. We're also helping the whole world decarbonize. But then there's also local pollution. Look, I know that, one of the unfortunate, challenges in the Bronx is air pollution, right? The name Asthma Alley is an unfortunate reality for a lot of families who are, faced with lots of urban pollution. Clean power does two things, right? It gets rid of the smokestacks. But the key to cleaning up a lot of urban areas is moving towards electric transportation, changing diesel buses to electric buses. And you need those buses to be powered with clean power, right? You don't want to create pollution in order to create the electricity to clean up those buses. And so there's a kind of a virtuous cycle of using clean power to clean up urban areas.
Now, for viewers who want to learn more about clean power and its benefits, where can they go for reliable information and resources?
Look, we would love people to check out fuelforthought.energy. It's a website that provides a lot of just general information, but also some pretty kind of compelling examples and stories of how people are finding economic benefit from this new industry. And we need to hire 500,000 folks. So if any of your viewers are interested in joining the clean energy workforce, they should go to cleanpowerinstitute.org, where they can get some ideas about how to become part of what we think is one of the best workforces in the country.
Well, thank you so much for joining us and telling us a little bit more about this. And on top of that, giving resources at the moment where people can go to for employment. I think that's amazing. People are always looking for jobs, and this seems like a really amazing way to kind of be a part of what's happening in the future. So I want to thank you so much for joining us and kind of having this conversation.
It's been a pleasure. Thank you.
For more information, you can visit the website at Fuel for Thought Energy. Don't go anywhere. We'll be back with more Open right after this.
Only 57% of New York City high school students are college ready by their senior year. "55% of high school graduates either have no plans to attend college or are uncertain that they will ever attend. "34% of young adults don't go to college because they can't afford it. Discover what's possible. BronxNet's education programs, internships, and opportunities help engage and inspire Bronx youth and beyond to pursue their passions. Be a part of the BronxNet family. Whether you're interested in our shows, joining a class, or donating to support our mission, visit BronxNet.org to learn more.
Welcome back. Blushington is a unique beauty destination offering exceptional beauty services and also fosters a community for beauty professionals at all levels. Blushington has launched an innovative initiative called Away with Wigs, designed to offer expert wig styling along with complimentary pickup and delivery for clients. Here to discuss more is the CEO of Blushington, Natasha Cornstein. Natasha, thank you so much for joining me.
Hi, Kibin. Thank you for having me on this morning.
Now, Blushington is described as a destination for empowerment and beauty. Can you tell us more about how the company nurtures confidence through its services?
Absolutely. I think that when we think of beauty, we're thinking of some type of image on a magazine or aspiring to a certain look. Our approach to beauty at Blushington is all about helping our customers feel like the very best version of themselves. And whether that's a very light makeup application or an event-ready red carpet makeup application or a simple blowout or a very extensive updo, and now introducing our wonderful wig services, our goal with our incredible artists is to really have a dialogue with our customers, to listen to what they care about, to what makes them feel confident and beautiful. And we really think about beauty at Blushington as wellness. As what we all know, when we feel good, when we look good, it can really change our day and our outlook on life. And beauty is unique to every single person.
Now, I find it so interesting that you combine the idea of beauty with wellness. I know not people don't always kind of associate the two. I'm curious to know, do you feel like that's what sets your organization apart from maybe other beauty lounges in New York City?
I really do. I think that we strive not only as an organization, but through our training and through the inventory we carry to live up to this promise to be a destination for customers of all ages, of all backgrounds, of all hair textures. And at Blushington, our artists are exceptionally trained. And I think really that's what sets us apart from other beauty destinations. A lot of beauty destinations make claims about who they can see and who they can service. One of the great prides I have in the artists at Blushington and how we operate our business is we live by that core value of being a destination for all. And I believe Blushington is in a class of its own when it comes to that, being welcoming and being able to actually execute the services at the highest level possible in a luxury setting. We believe at Blushington that every customer deserves A-list beauty services and A-list celebrity experience at affordable prices.
Thank you so much for sharing that. Now, I want to talk about the recently launched Away with Wigs initiative. Can you tell me a little bit more about that? What inspired the creation of, the specialized wig styling service, and what does it offer to clients in need?
Absolutely. Well, as I mentioned, we have the top trained artists, I would say, in the city and arguably anywhere in the country. And it was our very own senior stylist, Bianca Franco, who is a native of the Bronx, who came to me with this idea. She said, "We are so proficient in doing blowouts and updos and styles. I think that so many customers are wearing wigs today, whether that's for fashion reasons, whether it's for religious reasons, health reasons. Let us make this formerly sort of unluxurious and a little bit hidden service. Let's bring it to the mainstream. Let's make caring for wigs a luxury experience." And so I really credit Bianca Franco, this tremendously talented artist and stylist, with coming to me with this idea. We spent over 6 months training, researching, so that we could be a top-notch destination at Blushington, not only for blowouts for hair that might be naturally on your head, but for hair of any texture, any shape, any consistency of fiber. At Blushington, we're styling wigs of all types, and it has been immensely gratifying to hear from our wig customers how uplifting it is to be able to come into an environment like Blushington, this luxurious environment where their wig can be treated just as if they're walking into any, celebrity type glam experience. We wanted to bring that to wigs and to wig wearers.
Now, what I think is so cool about this conversation is that the idea and, our thoughts about wigs have definitely changed over time. And as you mentioned, people wear them for fashion, for fun, and then there are some people who wear them because maybe they're going through something medically. Can you just talk about how, regardless of why you're wearing it, having a wig could, help boost confidence, especially during challenging times? Can you tell us a little bit more about that and how making it accessible can help many people?
Absolutely. Coming back to where you started the conversation, Kibin, how we feel heading out into the world, tackling our lives, whether it's in the best of times or in challenging circumstances. When we feel like we look great, it can go a long way in how we face both the happy times and the challenging times in our lives. So again, core to Blushington is this concept of making the people feel like the best version of themselves. And when we looked at the wig category, you know, oftentimes people look at wigs as products, and that's not really how we view wigs at Blushington. We feel it almost as a vehicle to how you feel in your life. It is an experience to wear a wig, and we want to make that experience as uplifting and as glamorous as possible, regardless of whether you're wearing it to go to an amazing party. So often, customers are wearing wigs because they're going through a very painful health challenge in their lives. And if Blushington can be a part of helping you feel a little bit better about yourselves, of helping taking away that burden of trying to figure out, how do I care for my wig? How do I maintain it? How can I style it to keep it fresh? We believe that Blushington has really tapped into something, again, coming back to beauty and wellness, that can really uplift wig wearers.
Now, what I love throughout this entire conversation is that you're emphasizing that, there's inclusivity and that there's somebody that can help somebody regardless of your hair type, regardless if it's natural or if you're wearing a wig. How does Blushington ensure that its services remain both luxurious and inclusive for all clients?
We have a commitment at Blushington that any artist that is on the floor working with a customer has gone through a rigorous training process to be outstanding when delivering services for all textures of hair. That is core to our mission at Blushington. That extends to our makeup applications. Our training extends to being able to deliver, again, that celebrity level A-list experience, regardless of your age, regardless of your skin tone, regardless of your desire for the outcome, whether it's a natural looking makeup or it's a super glam makeup. So it comes down to our training, and it also comes down to having the inventory that allows you to deliver on this commitment. We are, again, as rigorous as we are about our training, we're very rigorous about the inventory that we carry. So that, again, whether you have light skin or dark skin, whether you're younger skin or more mature, and when it comes to hair, and we are, I don't have to tell you, we are all, I think, very particular about our hair. We have to have the inventory and we have to have the training to accommodate every texture of hair, every curl pattern, every desired outcome, whether that is a straight look, a natural look, an updo. As the CEO of this organization, it is core to the Blushington mission and delivering on that mission day in and day out. Every customer is welcome. Every customer deserves coming into a luxurious environment to have their beauty services completed. And that's who we are at Blushington.
Well, with that, I want to thank you so much for joining us. I truly love this conversation because as somebody who kind of, goes in and out of the beauty community, I have seen the changes around wigs. I think it's amazing, and I think it is something that everybody can take part of. And I'm so glad to hear you say that, there's an emphasis on making sure that everyone does feel included. So thank you so much.
Absolutely. And Kibin, if I may add, for all of your viewers, we have created a code Bronx10. So that
cool.
anyone that comes in for wig services at Blushington will receive a 10% discount.
Oh,
so
that's
you can
amazing.
visit us online at blushington.com. You can come to our headquarter location on 57th Street between 8th and 9th in Manhattan. We're right by Columbus Circle, so we're super accessible by subway, by bus, by car. So please come see us at Blushington.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
For more information, you can visit the website at blushington.com and follow them on social media at Blushington. We've come to the end of our show today. I'd like to thank all of our guests for joining us and you, the viewers, for tuning in. If you missed any part of today's show, you can catch the recable cast on Optimum Channel 67, Verizon Fios Channel 2133, or watch anytime on the web at BronxNet.org. You can catch our brand new episode of Open with Rena Valentine on Friday. This wraps up this episode for us. I'm Alleyne. Make sure to keep this channel wide open. Take care.